Hey lovelies, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Tola. If you're new here, you are more than welcome. Please do well to hit that subscribe button and remember to turn on your post notifications. That way you get notified every single time I upload a new video, which is at least once every week. So here on this channel, I talk about my life here in the UK. I talk about my job centered around healthcare, and I bring you updates regarding the UK immigration from time to time. So if this is something you are constantly searching for on YouTube, please do well to stick around. And for my returning subscribers, thank you so much for always returning to the channel. Today, we're talking about something interesting. And although the title of the video uses a strong word, I do not hate the UK. I only dislike some things about the UK, and that is what this video is about today. All right, so let's just get into it. The first thing is obviously what we all know, and that is the cold and the wet weather. I mean, it rains in virtually almost every season in this UK. I haven't spent over a year. I know that I can expect rain any day of the week. Like, the weather here is so bipolar. I mean, and it's so unpredictable. Even though you have like the weather apps and everything you check, and you cannot even predict, because even though it will not rain, the wind that can blow, or the, it's actually very unpredictable. And I don't know, till now I'm still not used to it. I don't know if I'll ever get used to it, but yeah, that's one major thing that really gets under my skin, and that is the wet and the cold weather. It is I mean, that is one of the first things that will hit you as soon as you get into the country, no matter what season you come in. It is prominent, it is unavoidable, it is in your face, kind of annoying. Now, coming from South Africa, I had read up on the weather. We also had winter, like, but in Dublin where I stayed, the winter that we were experiencing there is actually not the mate of the winter that we are experiencing here. Like, it's worlds apart. So yeah, I'm still not used to it. I don't think I'll ever get used to it, but that is one thing that makes me cringe every time I have to go out and it's rainy or it's wet or it's windy. It's just, it gets really annoying. And the fact that it even seeps into the building, like on the days when you do not want to put on your heater and all of that, and the cold takes so long, especially in the house, it takes so long to go out. Like, even on warm days, sometimes it's warmer outside than it is inside. I don't know if anybody else experiences it, but it's something that I've noticed, and I can't get used to it. Everything is cold. If you stand up from one side of the bed and you want to roll over, it's cold. That's just me, but that's all I have to say about how cold and wet the UK is. Even if you watch videos like this, or you have people who are here and they keep telling you about these things, nothing will prepare you for your own experience. I mean, you have to feel it to experience it. It's one of the things that will hit you as soon as you come into the country. Anyway, so yeah, that's about that. Next point is an obvious point, and it's the taxation in this country. It's terrible. For we that are working, even the indigenous, if you hear the indigenous talk about how the taxes are going, you will wonder if is a foreigner that is complaining. But this is someone who was born here and used to the system. The taxes are ridiculous. Let's not even talk about the other bills that we pay and all of that. But I feel like that's the main sort of UK's revenue, because what else are we doing in this country? There's no gold, there's no mineral resources. Like, I feel it's the tax that is actually uplifting this country. But yes, the tax. So there was a job I did a couple of months ago, and for that job, I was supposed to be paid £760. And because that was not my main job, it fell under another tax bracket. That's what you hear about emergency tax. So I'm going to make a separate video on taxes and how to, make sure that you're in a safe zone with your taxes. But this job that I did a couple of months ago, I was supposed to be paid £760 for this job, and I was only paid £450. So please just help me deduct it. All the mathematicians in the house, I was taxed this much amount of tax for a job that I was expecting £760 for. I mean, where's the rest of the money? Where did it go? I mean, who's collecting this money? Who is that? I want job. I mean, my head was hot. Like, my initial response to that was, I felt heat all over my body, and it was cold that day. And I'm wondering, what's the point of working overtime? Sometimes, you have to ask yourself these questions. That's why I made this video about, healthcare workers working overtime, doing back-to-back shifts. Please take your time and rest, because at the end of the day, the deductions are not worth it. It is not worth it at all. So you see, this next point is the closing time for school children / the entire childcare system. It took me a while to comprehend it, and even till now, I'm still struggling with the whole idea of this UK system, like the schooling system. Now, for foreigners like myself, my child who's 3 years old only qualifies for 15 hours. So you have to bring the child in for 5 days of the week, and that's just for 3 hours. So my eldest son goes to school around 8:45, and then the second one, we opted for the afternoon session because children in that age bracket to only go to school for like 30 hours. And then for childcare, if you want your child to go to nursery, I know someone who pays £900 per month. I know someone who pays over £1,000 for childcare, just for a child to go and be learning coloring and be playing with sand. No, so that the child can go and be with someone and you can then go and work. It's ridiculous because you're paying these people by the hour as well, and everything. That's why in this kind of country you hardly find living nannies or things like that, because you have to pay people the minimum wage. And what are you earning yourself? Even people doing skilled jobs, the difference between what we're earning is not so much. So you have to think well. That's why I said this country is a natural contraceptive, and I mean that in every sense of the word, because you will think well before you born. You will think well before you bring children into this country, because the amount of children you have to be packing. You have to be packing like real cash for you to be able to enjoy yourself and work while the children also go to school. Reality. You see, this next point is, I found it very annoying. I didn't even know it was a thing until we actually got into the UK. And this is going to be one of my culture shock points. Is that there are no locks on the doors. Like, there's only a lock on the main door and on the back door. Why? I mean, mommy and daddy's room, no lock. The bathroom and the toilet, no lock. I mean, where's the space of privacy in the house if you want to keep things from a child? I mean, I have this room that I'm using as my office. My husband and I share this space like as our office space. I have my equipment and my gears here. Am I just going to leave the door open without a lock for this child that thinks everything is a toy? So when my estate agents came around for some inspection around a couple of months ago, I asked them why. I mean, why is it like this? Why don't you have locks? And why can't I have a lock on my door as a parent? And then they said, oh, the house has to comply with fire safety regulations. So if there were to be a potential fire in the house, and the fire services were trying to get to that particular room, if there's a lock on the door, I could get fined because I prevented them from entering the building to put out the fire. She just went on, and I'm like, Elu, what am I doing with fire? Why would there be a fire? She was like, oh, it could be an accidental wire touch or something, it could be unforeseen circumstance, but it's a fire safety hazard. So if they're unable to get access to that particular room, I could get fined. It could be the reason why the whole house burns down and they were unable to put out the fire in time. She just gave a lot of reasons. It actually makes sense, to be fair. It does make sense. But I mean, coming from an African background, coming from South Africa where I had locks on my door, coming from Nigeria where I had locks on my door. In fact, you can even go and buy one big agadagodo and put it on your door, like a huge padlock, and put it on your door and keep your things safe. But no. Here, they even put the handle of the door low so that the children can easily reach it. I mean, giving children access to every room. Well, things are different in the African and the UK, but we by ourselves, we came here, we said we wanted to stay here. So that's how the houses are structured. And we have to go with the flow. So you're welcome. The next point is the amount of pets in the UK. The way people even carry them around, especially the dog owners, Jesus Christ. You will see one woman, one mommy, one mommy, one woman will carry like 4 or 5 dogs, and she's the only one in the house. You see a family and they have like a dog and a cat, or a dog and a hamster, a dog and a guinea pig, and they will not come to work, and this will be the topic of discussion, especially for us that work like long hour shifts. You stay the whole 12-hour shifts, and all you're hearing is my dog, the breed, the animal, the feed, the vet. Hello, let's talk about something else. I mean, the way animals, pets, they carry it, they carry her for head in this country. I don't get it. I don't get it. The height of it is seeing people push dogs in prams. Like, you see it. The dog that's supposed to be walking on its own, you put it in a pram. Dog that has 4 legs, more legs than you put it inside pram, you're pushing it on the road. And then you have these stickers, you know, then there's dog poo everywhere. I was going to work one evening, and then I saw this massive lump. Please look away if you're photosensitive. I'm going to insert the clip somewhere. There was this massive lump of poo in the middle of on the sidewalk. And I'm like, why? And yet you see all these posters saying, oh, there's a huge fine to pay if you let your dog litter the floor and you don't pick it up. And I'm like, hello, I've never even seen you arrest one person. People cannot do without pets. But then, you know, the difference between how we have it in Nigeria or even South Africa is that the pets have their own houses outside the building. But in the UK, the pets live inside the building, as in they live under your roof, under your house. Some of them even sleep on the same bed. I'm like, God. I cringe sometimes. You know, some of them are just not well taken care of, and you know, they have this smell, and then there's hair everywhere. Especially for those of us who even buy things online, you buy furniture online, you see dog hairs in there. I remember when we first moved into this house, for like the first few weeks of vacuuming, it was just animal hair. I don't know if it was a cat or a dog, I don't know. It was just animal hair on the carpet, and it was, you know, for people who have allergies now, problem. You see this next point, appointments for everything. You know, I didn't know it was that bad. I've heard about it before, but then I'm like, okay, it's not that bad. It can't be that bad, you know. I remember when one of the children got a cold, and it was lasting for way too long, and I had to call, like, it's almost an emergency. This thing is almost affecting this child's breathing. Oh, please, when can I come in to see the doctor? Like, oh, we don't have any more dates today. I said, hello, are you not hearing me? This child is having problems breathing. Like, I don't think this child is breathing properly. I said, no, we have to work by appointments. I'm like, how would you expect me to just wait and keep calm and be waiting for appointments? It's almost a life threat. I'm saying someone is not breathing. You're not understanding. Is it the accent? So, you know, sometimes I just wonder why it's like that. Well, yeah, appointments for everything. You want to call someone to come and check your central heating, they book an appointment. Someone also told me that, you know, he had to have his car towed from the side of the road to his house. And so when they called the towing company, they told him, okay, if you want me to come now, I'll come now, but then you have to pay, I think, about £200 or something. But if you wait for the normal working hours, it would just be like £90. And the guy was like, are you serious? And then he had to just wait, because like £200 to £90, please, won't you wait? So where's the space of emergencies? Like, if you really needed something like impromptu, isn't there a way that, you know, someone can get like the speedy response that they need? But then I know it's for order and for structure, but cut us some slack sometimes. Yeah, so the next point is the small houses. The small houses. I mean, even my 7-year-old will tell you that he misses the house in South Africa because it was bigger than here. It was bigger than this place. I mean, I feel like the houses, and we're even fortunate to have this kind of space, because I've been to some people's houses that are really, really, really tiny. And I would say that much for the old houses, but like the new builds are still kind of roomy. Yeah, the new builds are roomy. That's what I've noticed. I feel like the old houses are really small, really compact. I had problems climbing the stairs because I felt like they were too narrow. I don't know if anyone else has picked up on it. When I first came into the UK, I had a problem. Like, why is this stair so narrow? Like, the space for your feet, like, is so narrow. And I felt like I was going to fall every time I climbed up or down the stairs. But, you know, I'm used to it now. But, yep. Well, the second to the last point is the transport system. You know, I always thought that it would be a lot more efficient, a lot more smooth. But I don't know if it's just me, but of recent, I've noticed that the times, the schedules are a bit off. I've been at a bus stand where the bus was 14 minutes late, 23 minutes late, 40 minutes late. I mean, it was really that bad. I've almost missed an appointment because of, the delay in the transport system. Although I'm aware that, the strike's going on and everything, but then you see that strike is another point. Whether it is the NHS, the buses, the post office, even recently, the teachers, when all the strikes go on, we are suffering for it because we have to do things unconventional methods. Even for people who have booked shifts ahead of time, you can't get to work, or your children have to stay with you. You have to look for where to keep them. That's an extra or additional child cost care for the day. So it's a lot. There's some things where, unlike the African community where, you can rely on the communal way of living, where you can always ask your neighbor to help out, except you have that working for you in your community. You're gonna suffer for it because it's not easy getting help with children impromptu, or even getting someone to even look after your children or just help you sort through all of these things. Except you are also mobile, getting a car in this UK is not a luxury, it's a necessity. I remember making a video a couple of months ago where I was at a train stand and the train was delayed. I got there right on time. I think I had about 2 or 3 minutes to spare. I had brisk walked to the train stand. I bought my ticket and I was waiting. I had about 2 or 3 minutes to kill, and then I looked up and I saw that the train was already delayed. What can I do? I have to wait. I mean, that place was really deserted and it was starting to get dark really quickly, especially when you're approaching the winter or the colder months. It gets dark really quickly, and then staying that place, deserted place, although it's safe, it's relatively safe where I am. I mean, I have not had any issues of, people being attacked at gunpoint or at knife point or being violated or anything like that. I haven't really seen that at all. I haven't seen it. But, it's just really unsettling being at that deserted place at that ungodly hour by yourself, and, the train is just delayed, and then it's just, So getting from one place to another, especially in this cold as well, the transport system cannot really be relied on. A place like Darlington, where we don't really have Uber, we only have like the local indigenous transport systems and the elder taxis that we have running. We don't have that luxury of calling an Uber. It's either you walk or you wait for the trains to come and pick you, or you go with the bus. That's all the options that we have, or you call ahead. And the local taxis that we have here in places like Darlington, you have to call ahead for them to be able to know that, okay, yes, we're going to pick this person, we'll put you on schedule. That's taking you back to the point of appointments. You have to call ahead and then book your taxi ahead of time. It is where it was. But yeah, these are some of the things that I detest and icks me about this place, but we are here and we pin. Please, if you have any other points and you feel like I left something out, please do well to leave it down in the comment section. Let's carry on this conversation there. If you found this video helpful in any way, please do well to leave it a huge thumbs up. It does a lot to help my analytics and also get other people to see this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye, guys. Mwah. And I had brisk walked English. The cold and the wet weather. You're gonna have to die. I can't have you interrupting my video. I hate you, but I need you.